Oh, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in today to Channel 99. I've got Dustin Isaac of the Tumbleweeds. We're just chit-chatting about pretty much everything. But mostly, he's coming over to play a little bit of a set for us. Dude, what did we talk about?
Man. Bigfoot, love, drugs, sex, rock and roll,
primal instincts,
a
little bit of politics,
a little bit of politics, some stuff about the military. We were all over the fucking spectrum on that.
Yeah, man. It was an awesome episode. It was to be expected for a party cast. So make sure you subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Follow him at Dustin Isaac on Facebook, Instagram.
At Instagram, I am Slappy D.
Oh, that's right.
Slahappy D.
Slahappy D.
Slahappy D.
Sweet.
So,
and then
other than that, still have a Tumbleweed page. We're in the rebuild section, so look out, Idaho. We're coming back. I promise you. Make
sure that you stay tuned for the whole episode. We break it up so you get like a 2-second intermission. So if you have a bottle, you can pee in it real quick. But all right, everybody. Again, if there's nothing else that I've got, you got anything else to add?
I got a couple of originals that I want to ting about for you. So
hell yeah.
Here we goes about.
All right, will do. And have a wonderful rest of your day.
I messed that one up.
I tried to fuck it up, so it sounds terrible because I'm not a singer. All right, everybody, stay tuned.
Shut up and sit down.
All right, we're recording.
What up?
What's up, Dustin?
Yo,
Isaac.
how you doing?
Dude, it's awesome. You're hanging out at my house, Channel 99 Party Cast.
Yep.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, most definitely. So some of our viewers are Pro Edge podcast fans because that's a show that I co-host. And you were on that show, and you did a little bit of an acoustic set. So I kind of invited you back to do not only that, but to kind of talk about you've got a show.
I do. Yep. Tomorrow night.
And you're jumping back into music, getting crazy with it. So what's going on with that?
Well, tomorrow night we're going to be down to Dwellers, myself and Mr. Spike Coggins. We start at 7 o'clock and we go until 9, 10 o'clock, all depending on what the crowd's doing.
Nice.
It's located up on Overland, right there in the... I can't remember the name of the little plaza, but it's just off of Cole.
That's what's up.
Yep.
And you guys are expecting a good crowd.
Yeah, it should be a good turnout. We had it pretty packed last couple of times we played there. So.
Well, and this is the last. Did you say they're about to close?
Yep. This is the last
final
weekend, actually.
Wow.
Yep.
They just decided to move on to new ventures. They got bought out. What's going on?
Getting bought out, and due to the fact that they're a new family, they're doing the best interest for the kid, so they're doing another venture of their own.
Nice. Well, best of luck to those guys. I'm sure it'll be very prosperous.
Yep,
that's
be good.
Cool. I'm excited. I'm going to attend. And everybody who's listening to this, it's probably actually tonight because we're recording this on Thursday night.
Yes.
So and tonight is the 21st of February. So. On the 22nd, and doors open at 7, you said, right?
Well, doors open as far as the music goes. I believe they open at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, so get there.
Get there a little bit.
Everybody.
Yep. Maybe bring a little bit extra something on the side to drink in the parking lot if you want something other than beer.
Sure.
They don't shine too poor on that, so come on down.
Yeah. Did you hear about the new liquor law that they're trying to pass, by the way? So
I did not.
So it's state run, and there's a problem because, if you get a liquor license, you can hold on to it, you can sell it, and there's there's a secondary market for it, and you can inflate the price because obviously there's a demand.
Oh,
so. What they're trying to do is they're trying to create some type of an equality law that would make it a little easier for people to get a liquor license and sell liquor in the States. Kind of like Nevada, California.
Gotcha.
Like Walmart can sell liquor, right? It's not state run in certain states. Like you can go to Costco. By the way, Costco's vodka, Kirkland Signature vodka, is actually rebottled Grey Goose, by the way.
Really?
Heads up. So anybody who is in one of those states, go get stacked up on some of that like rebottled Grey Goose, because Grey Goose actually does their vodka. Yeah, very interesting.
I will keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yep. I will say this: next time you're in Indiana and you want a good bottle of Jameson, go down to your local Walmart, unless it's Sunday.
It's same exactly.
Somebody will yell at you.
Right.
It's God's day, not today.
You know what blows my mind is some places are dry counties,
Yes.
like where they bottle, what is it, Jack Daniels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Oddly enough.
Right. So
it's such a
black market.
slack in the it's such a slap in the face. How many people are walking out with bottles down their pants? You know what I mean?
Oh,
you remember that movie Kids?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude, one of my favorite. Did you ever follow up with any of that dude's other movies?
No,
they were all
I
just as
fell
fucked
off, so,
up.
Yeah, I was a country kid. I got my hands on that because
Kids
of my brother.
was a bad movie though. Dude.
It was horrible.
It taught me how to roll a blunt. It taught me how to roll a blunt.
Steal a 40.
Steal a 40.
And beat the shit out of somebody with a skateboard.
On point.
That's what I learned.
That's exactly what I learned, and not to sleep around with chicks.
Don't sleep with the girl passed out on the damn couch.
Oh, with AIDS.
It's Caspa. Don't worry, it's Caspa. Oh,
hell yeah.
Sorry about the rape remarks. I don't mean anything by it.
No,
It's
that
a movie.
movie's absolutely terrible. It is like, do not watch that movie, but watch that movie because you will be woke. Yeah.
Would you like a?
I'll take a half.
Okay.
If that's cool.
You bet. One split second for a second.
Yeah. We are not sponsored, but we will gladly entertain them.
Indeed. We'll do just a little sipper.
Channel 99 Partycast.
Channel 99. Yep. So,
but yeah, Dry County, man. How about?
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
If you don't mind if I throw in a couple of words. Back when I was in Fort Knox, just outside of Elizabethtown, that was my first introduction to a dry county. And being fresh out of boot camp, I was fucking pissed.
That's so weird. So what'd you do? Just drive like 10 miles down the road?
Just had to keep going to Louisville, and it was about 45 minutes.
Damn.
But nevertheless, better town to party in.
Is if there's a Costco, go stock up.
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
Cheers, by the way.
Hey, here's to you.
Thanks again.
Thanks to you.
Appreciate that.
Indeed.
Yeah, I really enjoy your music, by the way.
Thank you.
For sure. It's very raw. It's very unique. It's hard because I've listened to the songs that you played because I did publish those separately. So you technically, did? Yeah. So technically, you are one of my first unplugged sets, but I didn't record it as unplugged. It was more like pieced together, and I was like, I'm gonna put that. I'm just gonna create like a quick two. I think you played 2 or 3 songs, right?
I believe it was 2.
2 songs, yeah. I think I did publish the 2 of them.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. It's great content. So I think I'm pretty sure I got a lot of downloads too. But nonetheless, I was surprised when he hit me up just because I haven't had like anybody hit me up from the music industry other than like a couple bands in the metal side. But like nobody's hit me up, and I was running dry, and I was literally about to post something online and say, I need a musician to come to my house to just like hang out, talk about music and chill. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's cool, man. So definitely appreciated.
No, I appreciate you having me on again. The last time it was a great experience there on the other podcast.
Yeah, yeah. It's a different experience.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, I love Conrad, dude. Sometimes the jokes that dude cracks. I just sit back and I'm like, where did that come from, dude? Like, how do you think of this stuff, bro? But he likes to do stand-up.
He does.
So I also want to do stand-up. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up?
No, I get, oddly enough, I get fairly nervous every time I'm on stage.
No way.
Yep, and the only way that I can really get past that is to kind of sing my way out of it, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
like I'm falling from something, so I need to spread my wings and sing my ass out of there.
And how do you what's your focal point? Like, how do you get into that zone?
A lot of times I have to think about the story that I'm about to tell, and
Okay.
I'll think about
Like the emotion.
the emotion that's behind it.
Sure.
A lot of people, well, I mean, a lot of people like to, you know, they sing about something that they haven't exactly lived through. I think we've talked about this.
We did.
I like to always throw something of my life experience into my songs. That's kind of where all my ideas come from, is something that's happened along the way. Pardon me. Like I have some lyrics talking about waking up to the fog-hidden sun, and that experience comes from last December 2018. I was up riding my horse up above Lucky Peak, and we got spooked by some quail, and I went off to the rodeo, and he chucked me down a canyon about 25 feet, and I broke 4 vertebrae, 3 ribs, bit off the tip of my tongue.
Damn. Like concussed, bit off your tongue, or you hit your jaw?
Like I hit my jaw and bit off the tip of it. Came to rest. My stepsister had to revive me. It was a hell of a ride. Walked all the way down the motherfucking mountain to the pickup. My dad and my stepsister took me to the VA hospital, dropped me off there. I was so fucked up, the VA was like, we got to send you down to St. Alphonsus, sorry.
Yeah.
Here's a hardboard we're going to strap you on.
Holy shit.
And they hauled me all the way there, and they had to knock me out to get me to go through the MRI because I just couldn't lay still.
Hold on. So St. Al's, not St. Luke's.
Correct. VA and St. Alphonsus have a... I know. Trust me.
Oh, my
Trust
God.
me.
St. Luke's is right there.
It's right there. They could have chucked me down the fucking path.
They could have put you on a skateboard and just pushed you down the road.
I could have walked there faster, probably.
Oh, my God.
Correct, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, so after walking all the way out the motherfucking mountain, using my horse as a crutch, you know, I just held on to the reins like right about here.
Oh, my God.
Fuck. But 7 hours in the hospital. They wouldn't release me until I could keep water down because I had internal damage to my lungs, internal damage to my organs. Well, besides my lungs, I guess they count.
She just had, like, internal bleeding.
Yeah, I had lacerations all through my lungs and shit like that. So went finally to the house, passed out for about 5 hours, and woke up and went and played a show at the Knitting Factory. That is the best part of that story.
Damn.
I was driven by oxycodone and Jameson.
I was just going to say.
Sponsored with mini rockers by oxycodone and Jameson. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
It was amazingly horrible.
Did you perform well?
I couldn't tell you.
Could anybody else?
I went back to the ER that night because I was coughing up blood. My leg was going crazy, and yeah, it was a hell of a couple of months, we'll say.
You know what though, dude, that is dedication.
Yeah, we had it booked.
I can, dude. I can kind of relate, but not really. Dude, that is insane, bro. So my only thing that I can relate to, I was driving to work one morning. I Snapchatted this whole thing, by the way.
I think, we talked about this, but yeah.
I went down at 63 miles an hour. I got boxed in. I got thrown off my bike. Rush hour traffic. Headed north, less than a mile and a half from my house, dude. I'm getting honked at. So I just I flew forever. I don't even know how. Far enough, but I had adrenaline going to where I literally popped right up and I run over and I fucking pick this bike up. It's a 450-pound bike, man. You know, it's not a small bike. It's not a huge bike. It's a 650, but I mean, it's
They're still heavy.
It's still 450 pounds, right?
Yeah.
So I pick this thing up. I literally deadlift this thing. I hop on it. It's flooded, and these cars are just honking at me.
Dude.
Nobody gets up.
Nobody helps.
Nobody helps me, obviously. So I pick it up. I fucking just try to push it over to the side, and I don't feel that like my body's. It doesn't hurt at that point.
No, your adrenaline's pumping.
Because I just knew my body was working. Like if my arm was fucking flopping, I'd be like, all right, well, I'm not picking my bike up, right? But everything else is working. Pick this shit up. So finally get my bike started. I actually go to work, dude. I drive all the way 14 miles to work, all the way down at Park Center. I show up, and our like office mom and a couple of the other ladies see me come in, and they see that just like my whole side is just rashed out, like my pants are destroyed. Yeah, my jacket was bashed up, my helmet was a little busted. So they saw me come in, and like I was in there trying to patch my hand up because it burned through my gloves. And so I had these giant holes on my gloves, like on my hands, because I was trying to stop it. And I still have some scars, but dude, it chewed my hands up. So I learned my lesson, and I upgraded even more because I was like, if I go down at that speed ever again, I do not ever want to have that happen.
Yeah.
And the next time I went down going 60. And I had better equipment, and I was saved.
Slide out a little bit.
I was saved exponentially, man. The first time and I can show you my jackets. I landed on one shoulder the first time, and the other shoulder the second time. And the first time I was wearing a jacket that was like a $280 jacket. When I went in, it blew out the jacket. It was a nice jacket, but when I went down, I had a shoulder problem for like 2 months, man. I just jacked. My labrum was probably a little bit, like had a partial tear, like very sensitive, like sore. The second time I was wearing like this Alpine Star jacket. It was like $400 something bucks, dude. I didn't pay this, by the way. Like I was able to kind of work deals out just because, trades and stuff like that. I had other equipment and whatnot. But like I went down on my right side almost at the same speed, and I literally had no problem. Like my arms, my jack, like my shoulder, everything was fine. So moral of the story is invest in a really good fucking jacket. Indeed. Invest in good shoes, because both times I was wearing good shoes. I was wearing really nice dress shoes. So don't wear your Nikes. Wear either nice leather or some type of a nice dress shoe. Because that's what I was required to wear to work, like wear nice dress shoes. Well, fortunately they're leather and steel-toed and shit. Yeah, so I mean, like they saved my feet. They didn't save my ankle because it burned through my ankle and all my screws were showing. So I have a plate in my ankle. Yeah, dude, I have a picture of it. I have you can see all the screws like showing through on this picture. But that's like the worst thing that happened, right? Yeah. Again,
that's still pretty bad.
Yeah, again.
It doesn't feel good.
Good equipment. I was cleared on scene. The first time I didn't even fucking have a scene. I picked my shit up and rode through. But the second time I was cleared on scene by the medic. I literally started walking home. That's just basically the story, right? So good equipment. You can survive a fucking crash. They towed me and the fucking car. Like, it's a wild story, but I literally think that aside from whether or not you think there's guardian angels or whatever, I'm flexible. I stretch all the time. I roll out. I exercise. I'm conditioned just to be that way. That's my life. It's always been that way. Like, regardless of who you are, if you ride a bike, maybe you start stretching every day. Just in case.
It'll help.
Just in case you got to go limp after you get hit by somebody who's not looking for you, because that's exactly what happens. Yep. So that's wild. You ride though?
Yeah, I've had a couple of good wrecks myself.
No, dude, tell me, man.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Let's talk motorcycle. Yeah.
All right, first time.
I love it.
It was a good one. So I was at Barbacoa having dinner with some friends and had a couple of drinks. Maybe 2, 3 at the tops. I used to be fairly good about not drinking and driving on my bike, but that shit kind of faded over time. I do it every now and then. Anyway, don't do that shit.
PSA.
Yeah.
Don't drink and drive.
The more you know. Anyway, So I was riding home, and a car pulled out behind me and come up alongside me on the left-hand side and cut into my lane and hit me up onto the curb. My bike basically came 90 degrees, sliding sideways like I was board and sliding the curb there with my bike, and tire finally caught and chucked me down the road, landing on my face, head, shoulder.
No helmet?
No helmet.
No.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I wanted to throw my word in there again and get a good helmet and good riding gear.
Get gear. Do you want one of my helmets? I got 2 helmets.
No, I have plenty now.
I have a couple extra helmets in
there. So anyway, stand up after I come to a stop, and my bike thankfully went up into a yard by the Axiom over by Apple.
Yeah.
And went and stood up my bike. The bars were, of course, tweaked. Really nothing other damage-wise because it went into the grass. I had all the damage. Dislocated shoulder.
Oh,
head was split open, real bad concussion.
What bike were you riding?
2003 Softail.
Well, and how big?
At the time it was a 88 cubic inch Harley Davidson. So it's about 700 pounds.
Yeah. I don't know road bikes. I rode like a little SV650.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you're pushing. Yeah, that's a big bike.
It was fun. So that wasn't the worst one.
Well, that's not fun laying on your face.
Yeah. The cop showed up to the hospital just to try to give me a leaving the scene of an accident ticket.
Wow.
I called my girlfriend at the time.
Was your face just cheese grated?
My face wasn't too bad. The back of my head was smooshed a little bit. Yeah, that's where I had a big crack, and I came to a stop against the curb. Pow.
Yeah.
So,
it's surprising, and I'm not too surprised to hear about your face, right? Because both those helmets that I have in there, I've been through an accident in both of those helmets, and I had barely any helmet damage. Just a nick on both of them, and I don't know if that's
a nick a nick to your head is a little bit different.
It could have
than
jacked
plastic.
me up, sure, but it wasn't like
soft tissue versus bouncy, flexible plastic.
Mm-hmm. If you were to look at the helmets, you would never know that they had been through an accident. It kind of looks like somebody just dropped the helmet real quick.
Yeah, but anytime they say there's a scratch or anything, they're done. You need to replace that helmet and get a brand new.
Which is why I had to. Yeah.
So I've been through a wreck with a helmet. Unfortunately, I had another rider just go right in front of me without signaling. I don't know what he was doing, but I should have been paying more attention, perhaps. But had our helmet on, I skedacked pretty good on that one.
Yeah.
And then the best one, riding down the road early Sunday morning. I was off work. I was bartending at the ranch club at the time, and I was riding back to work because I forgot one of my shirts, and I was getting ready to do all my laundry, get ready for the week, blah blah blah, and taking the back roads, just cruising, going about 35, and a car pulled right out in front of me at a stop sign. He was texting and driving. And I tried to maneuver around him, but bike clipped.
And those bikes are even at any kind of a speed, it's kind of hard to just maneuver.
Especially if you don't have analog brakes are kind of nice to have on a Harley because of how heavy they are. Because once you lock up, you just you have to try to position your shit. So any kind of time that happens, the best thing you can try to hope to do is
say a prayer,
slide out and get your tires to redirection, and then pop your brake so it'll catch and catch you around.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it in time, so I clipped him on the side. I'm kind of surprised I didn't break my leg because of how I hit. But I went over the hood, my bike went down the road, and I smacked my face on the dude's hood, and my cheekbone was showing, and
whoa.
Yeah. Once again, I dislocated the same fucking shoulder.
Dude. Dustin, you shouldn't be riding bikes, dog. People tell me I shouldn't ride bikes, dude. You shouldn't ride bikes.
I have the worst luck, dude. So
let me get a bike. I'll ride with you, dog.
We will go ride. But we're going to go down the store and we're going to get really good equipment and helmets.
I've really been thinking about getting a new bike. And a lot of people are probably going to listen to this if they do listen to it.
You're like, I don't want to fucking ride with those guys.
Yeah. No, they do, because we're probably the first ones to get hit.
Yeah. I'll ride out in front. Yeah. Oh, shit.
I kind of want to take another half shot.
Let's do it.
Only because
we survived.
And a shout out to my guardian angel, multiple guardian angels.
I would like to say sorry to mine. I owe you at least 5 beers by now. At least.
Well, and my guardian angel, I really do believe that there's at least like one dude looking out for me, and shout out to this guy, just because I've seen death a few times and I've literally walked away, as have you. So probably more so than me.
Nah.
But
one time
either
is
way,
still
one
more
time's
than
enough,
it should
dude.
be. Yeah.
It's more than enough. So cheers, man.
Here's to you. Here's to you, and here's to everybody out there for Channel 99.
Well,
we love you.
And life.
And
life. Prosperity and guardian angels.
And yes, all that.
But when you're on a bike, right, it's so free. Oh, you feel so free, right?
The windshield's gone, and you're part of the landscape, as they say.
You're part of the elements, man.
You feel 100%. The wind. You catch that bug in the face. Well, no, because you're wearing a helmet. Never mind.
Yeah, me.
I've eaten a few.
I used to not wear a helmet. So in Virginia, I rode for a little bit. I lived with my football coach, and he had a 1300. It was a Honda, and a big bike, dude.
Big old Goldwing.
I think it was Goldwing. Yeah, he would he would always use it for like long road trips to West Virginia and stuff. Yeah. But we lived off the Blue Ridge Parkway, so you take it up the mountain and whatnot. Unfortunately, it got laid down more than once, probably by other people, just because he let people ride it. But that, and then I had a little 50cc Vino scooter that I bought for a couple grand. So I was like this big old football dude on like a little 50cc, but they required you to wear a helmet. It was a helmet law. And the way I would ride this thing to practice. I have a photo on my Facebook. I'm like 240 pounds with like all my football gear on my back, and I just overwhelm this tiny little 50cc.
I used to see the BSU players wearing that kind of same outfit on the same
mobbing down.
I can't remember the guy's name. I met him a couple of times in the bar. Really nice guy. I think he played for the Dolphins, if I remember correctly. But he used to ride a fucking hot pink little tiny scooter with a fucking basket on the front just because he could.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh, totally.
When you're 400 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal, you're just gonna do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. I just figured it was cheap. I got like 70 miles a gallon. I could take it to the next town on the back, like the state highways, because they could bypass me, obviously.
Yeah.
And I could only go 40 miles an hour, and it was like 50 on the state highways. So I was like, all right, people are going to pass me, but I can still get to Walmart. But Walmart was like 20 miles away. So it took me like a half hour full throttle. Exactly.
Every hill.
It's one speed, dude. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like pushing it forward, you know, not so much Dumb and Dumber, but like I would take like girls, like I would pick them up at their dorms on my scooter. And it's like max capacity, like 300 pounds. And it's like I already weigh 240 and I'm picking up a soccer player who weighs like 125. So this thing's just like.
You see the tires start to wobble out when you turn. It's about to bust a bead.
Yeah. But dude, that thing, man, that was loyal. It was a very loyal little scooter for, I want to say, what was 2007 to 8 to 9, so like 2 years. Got me through 2 years of school. I sold it for about half of what I paid into it, so like $750.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it was a dope little machine, man. I've thought about buying another one just for fun, because
do it.
I can get from here to downtown going 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, you literally can take McMillan all the way down to fucking Maple Grove.
Yep.
And that's 40 miles an hour max. Take Maple Grove, that's 35 miles an hour max. Take that to like Executive or Emerald, depending on where you're at, or Pine.
Yeah, I was gonna say just jump on one of the back roads. I hate riding in traffic nowadays.
I know, but when it's like
Especially
10 o'clock at
around
night,
here.
I know, that's true. People are so dumb.
Well, they
dude.
just don't pay attention
They
anymore.
don't. They're dumb.
And
I know.
if you're in the way,
dumb.
you're fucked.
Well, I'm dumb too sometimes when I'm driving. Like sometimes
all
I don't.
are.
We all are.
No, I do. I will admit this. I am really bad about doing photos and little videos when I'm driving, but I tend to do them when I'm out in like a country road or I'm off a beaten
not
highway.
traffic.
Yeah.
I'm actually okay. I'll admit I'm actually really good at being off my phone when I'm driving. I'm just like completely engaged when I'm stopped at a stoplight. So my only thing that I could apologize for as far as like being a shitty driver would be maybe not looking up when the light is like green right off the bat, like 10 seconds in. Somebody might honk at me every
shit if it's 2 seconds.
every week or so. I'll get like one person who honks at me and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm working. This is like real life. Sorry. Sorry, you have no purpose in life, because the person behind me probably won't drive like normal speed anyways. They don't. No. People don't drive with a purpose, man. They really don't. And I live off Eagle Road. People have no purpose in life when they drive. Yeah.
You're usually going 35 and a 50. That makes no sense. Fairview,
no sense.
35, and you're probably going 30.
Well, the thing with Fairview is most times I'm on Fairview, people are going 50.
Really?
Yeah.
Things have changed.
Every time I'm headed east, people fly on Fairview. They just do. I don't know what it is. People just fly. Yeah. Which is, it's always like a battle. But U-stick people typically go the same speed. People who are listening to this, by the way, probably don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
They don't. I apologize to everybody in New York right now and Mississippi, my top two states for downloads.
Really?
Yeah, dude. And then Idaho, they're slowly creeping up.
I'm going to play you guys some
really
tunes
popular.
out there in the states. Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, this is going to be dope. I'm really excited for this. Fuck, man. Don't distract me with music right now.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
What were we talking about?
I'm not good at that game.
You want to hear some crazy shit, though?
Sure.
I told you you're on Channel 99. We're going to talk Bigfoot for 2 seconds.
Oh, shit.
So I listened to this podcast, and we live in Idaho.
That's true.
There's Bigfoot and shit.
There's probably
there's a lot of Bigfoot
probably
sightings.
at least one family.
Yeah, there's a lot of Bigfoot families around here, probably in the mountains and shit. No. I was listening to this crazy story. There's this photographer who went out and was doing like nature shots, and she was on her own, and I'm going to summarize this as eloquently and as quickly as possible. I don't want to take up too much time because it doesn't matter if people believe in it or not. They can just go to this guy's website. So basically it's Sasquatch Chronicles. The episode that was most recently published talks about a lady. She has a great tact. Like, the woman knows how to talk. She communicates well. She seems very educated. So when I listen to the story, she doesn't seem like she's bullshitting. It seems like she's like telling like a legitimate experience is what happened to me. Long story short, she's out filming, taking photographs out in the mountains, and she's taking photographs of this little area, like an inlet for water. It's like an inlet on the ocean, and she thinks that she sees like a family of giant cats, like jaguar, like giant black cats. Really? She's like, okay, I thought they were cats. Turns out they stood up and they started walking, and she was like blown away. She was like freaking out at that point, and she says she picked up her camera. As she picked up her camera, she was like shaking, and some things fell out of her bag or whatever, and they made a noise. And she was actually observing them for a while, and what was happening was this male was in the water, and she said he had to have been at least 7, 8, 9 feet tall. She said he was in the water, and he was pulling up seaweed, and he was throwing it at the females. There were a couple females, and there were a few juveniles that were like 5-6 feet, and the women, the females, she said she could tell they were females because they had tits. They were a little softer looking. The male looked literally like a basketball player on steroids, like the most. She was like this, like an immaculate specimen, basically. Yeah. So she said,
it's like a bunch of shacks running around.
Yes, and she said the way they moved was like a lizard and a cat. Like, she was like, I've never seen anything move like this. And you hear this, like, within that community. Like, when you hear stories, they're like, I've never seen anything move. It's almost like they float. So, like, she picks up her camera. And she's like, I didn't think to take photographs. I just wanted to watch them for a minute. I don't know what it was. Like, obviously, this is something you've never seen before. Like, this would probably captivate every fucking, like, all 5, 6 senses. Whatever you can fucking perceive. It would completely absorb every type of like channel you have. So she finally picks up her camera, and as she does, like something drops out of her bag, or like the lens lens cap drops and makes a noise, and the male, the dude, the head of the pack, turns around, and all of them actually look in her direction. But she says this thing came out of the water. Wow, my dog's. Somebody might be here. No. It's whatever. But she said it jumped out, and one of the females intercepted it as it jumped towards her, like started running towards her up this quarry. Mm-hmm. And they started like essentially like speaking in like a gibberish type of language, like, and she kind of like mimicked it. Well, the host, he played a clip, and she was like, that's exactly what it sounded like. Anyways, basically interfering, saying, don't do anything. It screamed at her. She fainted, and when she woke up, she was next to her car, and her face was all scraped, and she was saying, like, my jacket was pulled over my face, and my hands were kind of, like, scratched on the backside. Like, she'd been dragged, but she's like, I wasn't, like, awake. I wasn't, like, I had fainted. Yeah, I'll get that.
Huh.
Crazy story, right?
Yeah,
blew my mind.
If I saw something like that, I would probably just
well, she talked well,
TikTok it the fuck out of there.
I know. Well, she tried, and long story short,
you're not outrunning something like that.
No, dude, no. She said the way it moved, she was like, it was in like chest deep water, and she said within seconds it was from 80 yards to like 20 yards in front of her, way too close. And the whole time she's telling the story, her voice is shaking. Like, you can literally tell this woman is genuine. Like, she saw something she shouldn't have seen. So she went to basically she contacted the police, and she talks about her interaction with a police guy who was like, no, you saw a bear, you saw a bunch of bears, like, this is what you saw. And she's like, no, I didn't see any fucking bears. Like, I was out there. Like, I fucking know what a bear looks like, and there's no bears here. Like, there's no bears.
Yeah, once again, I
would
probably hope to have a change of underwear.
Don't tell anybody anything. This is, you saw a bear.
Yep.
You don't say shit.
Yep.
But the only reason why that intrigues me so much is because,
what if we have them on lockdown security wise, because that's who found Bin Laden? No, I'm just kidding.
Or yeah, I've been thinking about doing a conspiracy theory show.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
and need to get finding a host.
My buddy Brian Masabi would be.
Do you want to mention it to him? If you really think this guy is capable of hosting a really good show, I know some really.
He would
good
have to do
dudes.
it from remote. I think he's in Minneapolis right now.
Yeah, I would have to do it in studio. Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It would just be hard for me, just because all my other content is in studio, and I have really good people here. But he could co-host. I could have a host, and when he's not available, then I'll just have a normal host here, and then he can always provide input. He'd be like a normal dude. Yeah.
That's true.
That's what I should do. So forward me his info, because that'd be awesome.
I will. He actually is. he was so surprised when I joined the Army because him and I and other people that think outside the box think outside the box. He's like, "You're joining the military? What the? Really?
You're conforming? What?
Yeah. What the? Like, no, I want to go do stuff."
Yeah.
So,
you were in the military for how long?
A little over 13 years total.
Dang, that's a long time.
It was.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I knew you were in the military, but we didn't get into that too much on the last show, did we?
Not too much.
Not too much.
We kind of tipped on it for maybe 5 minutes, just about a little bit of the way that it molds people is what we talked about.
Yeah, exactly. Creating respectable, contributing citizens, alcoholics of society. So funny. So my father actually is the clinical coordinator for the VA.
Oh.
Yeah, so you might actually know who he is. Paul Meyer. Colonel Paul Meyer.
Shit, I'm so bad with names anymore.
He's a cool dude, hypnotherapist.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll look him up. I frequent there due to a bunch of surgeries I had. So I go there quite a bit.
Yeah. He was predominantly on working within the psychiatric ward. He retired the head state nurse for the military when he retired. So he oversaw all the military nurses for the state,
really,
which was kind of cool. Yeah, I didn't know that either. So I'm very proud of him, which is why I'm talking about my father. Yeah, he's a wonderful example.
Yeah, and, tip of the hat too.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a good one.
Most definitely, I appreciate all forms of service. I think it's very admirable in every respect. So, I was raised in the household, and my brother, he's also served. He's been overseas, and Apache pilot.
Very cool.
He also sings and does guitar stuff. Maybe you guys could jam one of these days.
Dude, that'd be cool.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's done a lot of he's not like you. He doesn't have not afforded I guess he's got a family with kids and stuff like that. So he's a little restricted, but
I don't have that anchor, so.
But I've also published a couple of his songs, and he's a picker, and he's really good, man.
Very cool.
Sings, he's toured and stuff like that.
So hit me up.
Yeah, dude.
I'd really just like to play music anymore.
I think you and him would really jam, dude. He's pretty good, and you're pretty good, and I think you guys would have very similar styles.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Bring it on.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'll fix that. I'll put that.
Please do.
I'll put that together, and then you guys can have some free studio time, and we'll work something out, and we'll get you guys a little EP. We'll figure. I'll buy a little. I'll buy a little extra equipment and make sure we make it sound at least decent for a free download. Right? I wouldn't charge anybody. Yeah. I just want to. For me, it's I get to learn a lot, and every time I get an artist in here who can play, I get better and better with the very limited resources that I have.
Yeah.
And that to me is exciting, just because I hear these very professional studios, and I compare my quality to them. And anybody that I hang out with who geeks with me about podcasting, I'm like, listen to this and listen to this and listen to this and listen. Okay, listen to this guy and listen to this guy and then listen to this this riff real quick versus these guys, and constantly saying, hey, what can you do, or what can I do to get better at this? Does it need to improve here? And I think anybody who is that passionate, I would assume a lot of musicians are the same way. They probably listen to their music and then listen to somebody that they admire or somebody that they think is close or similar to their style. Yep. And then they compare it and say, oh man, I could make it better here, or they could make it better here, so maybe I'll enhance mine there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do.
I definitely feed off other artists, the people that are out there doing their own thing and writing their own music and trying new things. It's probably the best part about going to open mics, especially here in the Valley. A lot of the people that go to, especially Monday nights, Pingillies, I'll give you a little push. They have an open mic.
Yeah.
And the people that go down there, they're there for music.
Right.
There's, you got your onesie twosie that comes in for drinks, but they're still going to sit there and listen to the music.
Yeah.
But for the majority, everybody comes in there and they all want to kind of feed off one another, and they're getting song ideas and lyric ideas. And
Yeah.
I never thought to maybe take, that chord over, something of that nature. Just you get new ideas from feeding.
You get a different perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see a whole new rhythm of, somebody else has a different character to their song versus, you got your down, down, up, up, down, like my simple ass does.
Right.
It's just helped me to experience new ways of playing, and you can jump up there, respectively ask whoever's up next if you can go up and play with them, and it really helps to play with people that you are just joining in with, because you have to be Johnny on the spot and kind of fill in and match what they're doing. You don't want to just mix what you're trying to do with what they're playing, so it forces you to learn.
Yeah, so it's almost like a freestyle.
Yeah.
And they just say, hey, these are the chord progressions.
Usually I'll
fun.
Usually I'll sit back and I'll listen to them play it once over. Pardon me. And once I kind of see what their rhythm's going to be and what direction they go, and then once I know they're going to their chorus line, I'll break off and kind of listen to it the first time over, and then on the next rotation I'll throw a little lead.
Yeah.
Because I'll be able to build off and get an idea where they're going after that.
Exactly.
But
no, it's exactly how I would think the same way.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
I love that, especially the fact you get out there with people that don't get a chance to get up on stage usually, so they take that opportunity and they fucking shine. It's great.
Yeah. Well, and I can't freestyle. Like, I'm not good enough. The only instrument that I really play anymore is piano.
Yeah.
And which is why I really want to play guitar, because I think if I could learn it now versus the way I learned piano, if I could learn guitar in a way that allows me to be very progressive and free-flowing, like just learning it in a way to just express myself versus like, this is how it is, this is why it needs to be.
Yeah.
I learned piano from a Polish girl, a Polish woman.
Really?
Who was literally taken out of her house when she was like 5 years old and put into a school to play piano and Soviet, like in the USSR back in the day,
Jesus.
right? Like before the Berlin Wall dropped down, right?
Yeah.
She was on the east side. She was in the blocks. So I learned the way she learned, and what it was is basically memorization and perfection. Like you learn
muscle memory.
This. Like you're playing this song. There's no creativity. This is what you learn, right?
Yep.
It's not anything outside of like. It's just.
This is your formula.
This is it. Yep. Yeah.
Don't put your own spice on it. Just.
Yo, you're part of the union.
Yes.
Don't ask questions. Just fucking play.
Just play the fucking music.
That's how I was taught. At like 12 years old. So I don't know how to play the piano.
Schwack. Oh.
If you saw me sit down and practice, or if you heard me practice, you'd be like, shut the fuck up, dude. Did my camera bounce?
Sure did.
No,
Looks
it's
like
good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look like
sometimes
it
it trips, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
I think this camera's going bad.
Silly.
Sorry, dude.
It still works. Still on there.
I know. And if it does, it's a reason to upgrade. Got a couple really cool ideas for the studio, but it's like it costs me money, and
Put
I don't.
Some corners down.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, some actual nice actual video cameras.
Ooh.
I really like these cameras.
Yeah.
I would keep the GoPros for my shows, but if it was just me hosting a show, I would probably do the GoPros with my show, and then with the video cameras I'd probably do it with everybody else. Yeah. The only reason why is because I have this TV for the visual, and if you were to expand yours or my camera right now, you would see that like it actually fits the format of like an old tube TV from the 80s, and it streams 1080p 30 frames a second. I do actually 720 at 60 frames a second because I like the fluidity of it. Most people can't tell a difference. That's like technical shit. But,
yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole different reason behind all that, and I could totally geek on it. But yeah, dude, how much music have you written since your last release, by the way?
Since the last time that, well, to be honest, we never even got the damn album done.
You haven't even finished it yet.
It hasn't been completed. That's kind of why unless you haven't paid a whole lot of attention out there, Tumbleweeds haven't been doing a whole lot. We kind of have been on hiatus since that last show at the Rev.
Why not like a single, like just do your own solo acoustic? Come over here, I'll record you for free, man. Come over and hang out, man.
That's actually, if you want to do that, that's something I've been thinking about doing. I just want to. I have 3 songs that I never did anything with, that I'd like to just real quick track.
Yeah,
I could do one.
Let's do them tonight.
I could
try them out.
Do that.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be fun.
Shit, we could do it when we're doing it live.
Yeah, let's do it. That'd be dope.
I want to get something of mine out there. The only reason, I don't want to sell shit. I don't want to make money off of this. I want people to just kind of listen to my story. Mm-hmm. That's all that I ask. That's the only thing that I could ever ask anyone about my music. So,
likewise.
It's something that I've written from my experiences, like we were talking about. A lot of the songs that I've put out there so far have had a lot to do with the life that I've lived. And oddly enough of it is a lot of making my way home after something. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of stories about that. I've got stories about some of the hardest things that I've ever been through, which still to this day, when I'm just sitting there playing it, I'll ball up a little bit. I'll have to, push the old Adam's apple back down, make sure I don't start tearing up. But that's why I want people to hear it, because I want to just give them an idea, let them know that they're not the only one going through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Addiction, I have songs about it.
Yeah.
Facing death, I have songs about it. Making my way home to a party, I got songs about it. I have a quite a good mix of everything that, once again, I'll kick the dead horse that I've lived through, but I found a way to put it onto some sort of a rhythm, and I try to present it.
Yeah, you found a format. It's important, man. I'm not a singer. I'm not a musician. I can sing and I can play, but I'm, none of the former. This is my platform, man. And, this is my stage. So when I have actors in here, I'm like, this is my stage, dude.
Yeah.
And musicians, this is my stage. This is my audience. You're my audience, right? So for me, this is how I perform. And I completely understand that on an artistic level, on a very top level, just because I do not understand the intricacies of actually music and everything that's involved with everything.
As much as you don't think you do, everybody out there, I guarantee everybody out there has that song, if not multiple songs, that makes you think of the good times. You have songs that make you think of the bad times, the times that you barely made it through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it reminds you of that one ex that time on the beach. We heard this song and I stopped and we danced in the moonlight. Some of that nature.
Yeah.
So I believe the music touches people in a whole different way, a whole different fashion than most art.
It's a universal language, man.
Indeed.
It's a universal language. It's a vibe. It's a feel.
Even if you don't understand the lyrics, opera. I know a lot of people don't listen to that kind of stuff, but you listen to just
I love opera.
The way that it's put together. Yeah, I thank my grandma on my mother's side, especially for, she was part of the Boise Harmonic for years and years, singing harmonies and also on the piano. And that's a huge feat.
Yeah. My aunt was
Yeah, no, I definitely same thing. My aunt was like, she was an opera singer, like a professional, like a stage opera singer. That's hardcore. I've got some of her books.
Crazy.
Yeah, I got some of her books to play the piano, and I was like, nah, I can't play that piano. I was like, I can't play opera piano. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I can play Mozart and like Beethoven, but it's like fluid and chill. But opera is like choppy and intense. Like it's like cha 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 cha. Yeah, it's way
like
intense.
out of nowhere. Yeah. And you wonder why you get all pissed off and rage.
Yeah,
get out of my way! I'm driving.
Yeah. No, it's a whole different level of art.
It is indeed, and
a whole different dimension of art.
Yeah, the fashion that the music and the vocals go together. Like you're saying, like you go from soft tone skipping down the sidewalk to there's a boulder on top of your head with the crash of the cymbals and you know, it's
totally.
I always think back to the Bugs Bunny cartoons, him and Elmer Fudd.
The short clips,
yes,
back in the day,
good.
The Looney Tunes.
No, are you sure it was?
I think it was Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, it was Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the Bugs Bunny series.
Yeah. Oh no, it probably was the Bug Bunny, and they probably wrapped it into Looney Tunes because Looney Tunes. Remember, it was almost like a it's almost like a Saturday Night Live with a bunch of different shows wrapped into one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of like Tiny Toons, wasn't it? Like
Tiny
a bunch
Toons
of little
was,
short tunes, but it was like all the little kids.
Well,
it was like
I think Tiny Toons was kind of a more of a
baby
story.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
yeah,
indeed
wasn't
it?
Was it? Yeah. I think it was. I think so.
Damn you.
Damn you, James.
Damn you, James.
Damn you, Jamie. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, you remember?
Want another shot?
Yep.
Let's do it. Fucking James.
Damn you, James. I'll show you. You're not getting the best of us. All right. Well, on that number, good old Bugs Bunny, man. He was the shit.
And what's crazy is
that was too much. Damn
it's all good. We'll save half of that for the next one.
Nah.
Cheers, by the way.
I don't want to get warm.
Just
Just throw you. Here's to you, peeps.
Yeah, it's everybody listening. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I grew up on cartoon violence and gangster raps, you know?
Yep.
It was like NWA.
and we seem to be just
Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, we grew up, we were okay, but where are those shows now? They don't do that. They canceled Tiny Toons and Looney Tunes because it was too violent.
It was too violent. I know. I know.
The Road
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe
that
Le
womanizing
Pew.
son of a bitch. Him.
That fucking frog. Is that the
Jeez.
frog?
No, he was the skunk. The womanizer.
Oh, he was!
The fucking womanizer.
And he was the French skunk.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
la la. Ooh, madame.
La, la. I remember that. Eh, oui, oui.
C'est les Américains.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that guy, Pepe Le Pew.
Yes. He was probably the creepiest one of them all.
He totally was, man.
He was that weird neighbor that stared at you when you were outside playing in the sprinkler.
Dude, I've got and I've got a weird neighbor. And if they listen to this, then fuck, man, that's I just lost a fan. But I highly doubt they do. But what's weird is their son-in-law's brother was on my show. He's a professional poker player.
Oh, very cool.
And I didn't know that they were any relation. But long story short, they stopped me one day and we chatted about it. But I guess, well, when they were like building this house over the last couple of years, I used to lay out on my deck, like on my chairs, and read my book for like an hour every time I came home from work, like 2 or 3 days a week. You know, I'd get some sun because I work in an office all day. So I'd lay out, get a little bit of some sun, read my book, chill. All my neighbors were like normal. The neighbors on one side were like married, totally cool, normal couple, not creepers. The people behind me were like old people who always had their shutters closed and shit on the backside of their house. So it's not like I could, they're looking at me from their house like while I'm laying out.
Yeah.
But Ada is very alert And when they started moving in and started putting things in along the fence line and like whatnot, my dog would go fucking crazy, and I'd look up, and it was always like my neighbor. I don't know why I'm being quiet.
They're fucking outside the window. Sorry. Please don't shoot us. You're not creepy.
I'm all being quiet.
You're loving. You're loving.
They're fucking cool neighbors, man. They sometimes they'll shovel my sidewalk, which is fucking cool. God bless them. But they're fucking weird. And this is a guy who has a master's in electrical engineering from Stanford.
Yeah.
Like, smart.
Yeah.
And he works for HP out here. Super awkward, super like he's cool, but at the same time he doesn't know how to close a conversation.
I was gonna say a lot of times they're very introvert and then awkwardly social.
Yeah, and they don't know how to close conversations. Like I would like continuously be like, "Hey, I got to get this done. Like I'll talk to you soon." He'd be like, "Oh yeah, but how about like what fertilizer are you using?" I'm like, "Dude, I just told you." I'm thinking to myself like, "I just told you I gotta go fucking finish my lawn. Some of us got shit to do." But his wife, she's a psychologist. She has an office at home, and psychologists kind of weird anyways, right? We all know they're a little awkward because they trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with them. So shout out to anybody who like has problems and they're trying to figure it out and they get a master's to do so. Like that's 100% legit. But at the end of the day, you're still kind of fucking weird. And debate me on that, but I don't think you
change my mind.
Because if you debate me, you know you're fucking weird. Okay.
I'm not weird.
Long story short, she would always like look at me between the like slats in the fence, and Ada would always run up and bark at the fence, and then like I would see it real quick because I'd be reading, and then all of a sudden Ada would like freak out and go vroom and bark and like chase after the fence. She doesn't like people around the fence. She wasn't used to that because this house was only built like 2 years ago. And it was new to her at the time. So I would always catch this like older woman like looking through the fence all the time. It totally creeped me out, right? Where was I going with this?
Creepy neighbors.
Yes.
Staring through the slats.
But I'm cool enough to spray their weeds. So
God bless your heart.
Yeah. Yes. Some of us are doers. And I do it.
You, sir.
But not my neighbor's wife. That's fucking weird.
Don't do her.
That's weird.
Be a doer.
Just do it.
Just do it. Swoosh.
And we are not assuming gender by saying doing it. So.
Never mind. There's nowhere to go after that.
After that.
You're just failing at that point.
Dude, where you playing music next, man?
Once again,
plans?
Dwellers. We have tomorrow night, 7 to 9.
Tonight.
No. Yes.
Tonight.
Yes. 7 Friday, 7 to 9.
Yes.
The 22nd.
What I'm saying though is after that. Like, what have you up in the mix? Are you just working on like? Are you looking at doing tours, or like not a tour?
Right now, I'm actually. Heads up, I'm getting ready to put a lot of fashion into my music. I've kind of been slacking, as you can tell. I haven't been playing a whole lot. Looking to do a little refurbish and get a band going. Already got something in the works, so sit back, relax. We'll be back.
Like a different band? Different projects?
Different.
Because I work on different projects, right?
Different just in the sense of probably going to have to bring on some new... players.
Yeah. Same name.
Yep.
Oh, gotcha.
Still rolling the same way.
Revamp a little bit.
Gonna revamp a little bit. We're gonna recondition the songs a little bit. And until then, I'm gonna be playing a couple of solos. Like I said, tonight, the 22nd, I'm playing Dwellers, 7 to 9 with Mr. Spike Coggins. Come down. It's gonna be a good time. It's a free show. It's actually the last show that they're gonna be having on a Friday night. Due to the fact that this is their last weekend before they sell. After that, I'm playing up in Loman on the 22nd. Or, pardon me, I just said the 22nd. On the 2nd of March, the saloon up there in Loman. I am probably going to be playing that one with Spike as well. I'm still waiting on 100% go or no go. Sorry, I'm trying to look up the name of the place I'm playing in Loman while I'm doing this.
You're good, man. Don't even worry about it.
So, I don't know if you can cut it out.
No, dude, you're totally fine. Yeah. Do you want me, let's do this real quick. Okay. We're going to take literally a blip real quick. Yeah. Yeah, you just start doing the warm-up. Everybody, thank you for that 2-second what do they call it? Intervention? No, intervention is when people are addicted. Thank you for being addicted and being
here
intervented.
For us about your problems.
Your problems. But we're here for you.
Many rockers again for you.
And music is a cure-all. So regardless of what problems you may have, just know that there's somebody who can play guitar and can make your life that much better. Dustin, Isaac.
Yo.
Thanks for coming over, dude.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for coming over.
You got me a little bit drunk. How about one more shot for you and to the people at Channel 99? Here's to you, folks.
Shout out.
Here's to you.
Thank you. And here's to you for blessing my studio with your talent.
Indeed,
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
One of the ideas I had, I went and bought like a bunch of expensive markers. I didn't think I bought the right markers though. The reason I have this table here and I blacked it out and I sanded it down as best I could was because I have a lot of artists here and I have a lot of people who I think make an impact, and they, you know, I'm able to catch them in like an early part of their careers where they're gonna make it to that next level. And I feel like if I can be a part of that, if I can help them if I can do what I can to help them out, I believe that they will in turn do that. You know, they reciprocate that. And by that I mean like people will listen to me and think, wow, this guy like brings on really intelligent people, artistic people, talented people, you know. Indeed. Like, and they're like, at least he has a network of, at least he knows somebody who is artistic or, you know, musically inclined enough to come hang out with them, to entertain somebody. And I like to provide a platform, and I think I'm always improving, but it's due to the fact that I have people like you who swing by my studio within like what, a 12-hour notice, dude. We scheduled this literally at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock today.
Yeah, man. And I was stoked that you said yeah, because I was like, man, I'm just gonna go home, I'm just gonna work all night, which is cool because I will be working all night. But it's cool to have somebody over who can, you know, at least make my show better, make me better. You can improve yourself, and then we can also, you know, and have somebody, you know, allow somebody to enjoy just a little part of their day, you know.
Well,
so
hopefully out there you guys are having a good time and you're encouraged by our artistic facts of surviving to go buy a helmet, and some proper gear, and everything else we've touched base on. Don't do the bad stuff, kids.
Yeah,
that we have done.
Don't do the pot.
Don't do the marijuana. Unless you have a license in a state where it's legal.
And you're of age.
Of age. That's what I meant by
yes,
license.
Exactly.
Just don't be dumb.
Don't do the pot.
Don't do the pot.
You know, it's funny, when I was in high school, I remember one of my buddies didn't show up for 2 days in football. And my football coach was like, well, where's George at? And we were like, it looks kind of funny because like the cameras are kind of off right there. There we go. But it doesn't look the same with the guitar when you have the guitar. I'll fix it for everybody though, who's watching it. But
that's my fault.
I remember my old football coach in high school would call it hippie lettuce. Oh, George, you out smoking the hippie lettuce all night? And I was like, well, okay, that's cool. It's kind of cool. Because we just knew it was like weed. I've always called it weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking weed.
How about all the
names?
How about all the backing that's going into it right now?
Purple sticky kush, bro.
How about we're the only state, like the Northwest, who's like,
I know, we're
jerking off to the left side. Get the fuck out of here.
We're the only state still making money off stealing fucking green stuff.
Did you hear it, dude? This is bull,
eat
dude.
And still survive.
Oh, dude!
Anyway.
National news, and I'm gonna talk shit on Idaho right now because there was a company that was transporting, like, I want to say, like, a lot of fucking cannabis, or not even cannabis. It was just the hemp. It was the male plant, right?
CBD.
It was just the hemp side. And it was transporting a truckload from, like, Colorado to, like, Oregon or Washington, and they got pulled over here. They got ticketed.
What? Oh,
Cited
yeah.
It was a felony for the company.
It was like
company.
an entire
It was like
truck.
It was a
like
farm. It was like a farmer. Yeah, it was it was huge. No, it was like tons, I think. It was like
that's what I'm saying.
Hundreds of pounds. It was like 6,000. It was like 6 tons. Yeah, it was tons, dude. It was a whole truckload.
They had to go through weigh stations to get across the state.
Exactly. Yeah, it was exactly.
That's
so
how much was there.
Exactly.
But it was all hemp. It was
all hemp. It was all federally legal.
Natural, federal legal, but Idaho was
on the ag.
No.
On the ag bill. Shout out to Donald Trump, by the way. A huge fucking shout out to Donald Trump, by the way. I don't get political on. This is the first time I've ever given a shout out to him, but he is doing a couple things that really make my heart happy, and I don't think he gets recognition. He started a war on legalizing, like, gay marriage around the world, or like making it not gay, I think, right? Like making it, because places it's illegal to be gay, right? Is that what I'm saying?
Yes. I think Alabama's probably on that list.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, he's very liberal, so I think, like, a lot of people give him shit, but at the end of the day, the mainstream media doesn't give him credit for when he actually reaches over to the left side and he does something good on that side. But
no.
Everything aside, my stocks have been on point. Yeah, I've been making great money. Our unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in 50 fucking years.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been half a fucking
Our
century.
Economy has been the strongest in a long time.
He's a businessman.
Dude, it's insane, man.
Hate him, love him. He's
love
a
him, hate him.
in a fucking business position.
Yeah, and
anymore is business.
Yes, and I think, politics aside, I think America needed somebody to kind of, like, turn things around a little bit. There were some problems, and I was somebody who graduated college in 2009, so there were no jobs. Like, no. You get out of college with like $120,000. I didn't, but like some kids I went to school with got out of school with like $100,000 in debt, and they were working like jobs for $9 an hour.
Yeah,
that was real life, and that was during Obama. And I'm not saying anything about Obama, but the dude was in there for a long time, and he probably should have figured some shit out, because people like me voted. I didn't vote, honestly, on the last election at all. I was in Mexico, and that was crazy. They blocked off Fox News the night before the election. I was literally in Mexico, and I went to turn on the news, just all news channels, and the only one they had, so the night before you could have all the channels. The night before the election, you could only watch like 2 or 3 of the shows of the channels that were news channels. And I remember taking a mental note, and I was like, wow, they literally just censored everything. I couldn't look anything up on my Facebook about, like, the election. It was wild, dude. It was weird. But I was in Cancun, Mexico. Everybody, make sure that you maybe think twice about going down to Mexico right now, only because people are starting to die. They are. They really are. Sadly, a bunch of people just got shot up. Cartels moving into Cancun. It was only a couple miles away. So I've been there. I had fun. I enjoyed it, but I probably will wait until the U.S. decides to say, hey, it's okay to go back down there. But right now, it's not okay. It's a beautiful place, but man, it's fuck. It's dope. Did you see that article about the kid that they said he refused to say the Pledge of Allegiance, so they arrested him?
What?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Well, first of all, it's extremely misleading because what happened was this kid decided he didn't want to stand. This is dope.
I'm going to just stop then.
You're fine.
To the child that did not want to stand up, you're welcome, as any weird-ass military guy would tell you. We did that for you.
Yeah.
You could do that because we did that for you. Because you did that for us. If you get that.
Well, this is the thing. He's a kid, right? He obviously does not understand. He does not have a full understanding of anything.
He doesn't.
First of all,
yeah, but that doesn't mean fucking throw him in jail.
No. This is what happened.
Smack him in the back of the fucking head and say, you know what? Here's respect.
Yeah.
Earn it, or you're gonna get beat.
Well, dude, I'm 100%. But what my point is, the media totally misleads you. It's not because he refused. The teacher didn't get mad because he refused. He threatened the teacher.
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
That's what I'm saying. So the media says he got arrested because he didn't stand for the pledge. No, it's because the teacher was like, hey, listen, you should stand for the pledge. Everybody's doing it. And he threatened the teacher multiple times. Like, if you read the article, like, the teacher said, was being threatened a few times. So she was like, oh, no, this ain't happening. Like, we got to bring cops in. Why would an adult bring, cops in?
I was going to say, what was the age of the child?
I want to say young, dude. I thought maybe middle school.
Why didn't she just fucking
send her to the principal's office?
Just knuckle thump. I'm sorry. Yeah. When I was going to West Elementary, I fucked up.
You can't, dude. You can't even look at a kid weird anymore, and they'll be like, they'll figure out a weird, stranger danger, man. They'll figure out a weird way to make it seem like you were made them feel either offended or uncomfortable.
Well, it's the
sensitive generation, man.
Well, I wouldn't blame it so much on that. I would blame it more on the parents that just fucking stopped caring.
They're not parents, dude.
Well, they're not
problem
parents.
Is they're friends.
Especially nowadays. Well, I'll put this out there. A majority of the people that I know that have kids are more than likely by now separated. And they're playing who's the better parent. Who you gonna love more? Who you gonna love more? Yeah. I got Candy. Who you gonna watch? You know, it's like when you and your sister are fighting over who the dog loves more, and you're fucking waving baloney in the air.
Yeah.
Who do you love more? I think that's what's triggering what the fuck is the issue nowadays, and kids are just not knowing, like you're reflecting on. They're too
confused.
Young. Well, they're too young to, like you said, really know exactly what their stance even fucking is. Yeah. They're emulating what they fucking see on a TV screen or a newspaper or the teacher's understanding of what their representation is. You know what I mean? And that's I'll touch on that real quick. That burnt the fuck out of me. Like, I'm burnt by that. Kids nowadays are more reflective on what their teacher has to say than what their fucking parents have to say. Yeah. And I don't understand that.
Yeah.
If I didn't reflect more on what my mother taught me, or my father especially was trying to teach me, I learned the fucking hard way.
You know,
and it stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a huge thing that has been lost is a lot of respect for individual fucking rights. Like, if somebody's protesting on a corner, somebody's gonna fucking make it a point to make it a physicality, and they're going to make contact, and it's going to fucking wind up on YouTube, and blah, 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 blah. And whatever goddamn hat they have on is going to be reflected negative on that side of the fucking table.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's nowadays no more an ideology. It's a fucking standard. If you're libertarian, you kind of float. You know what I mean? You're kind of
You're confused, kind of maybe.
I wouldn't say that.
You're confused.
I wouldn't say that. I think you're more appreciative of ideal.
Very traditional, very fundamental.
Very fundamental, but you still have an understanding and an open idea to change.
Yes.
On the other side of the spectrum,
I do lean a little more libertarian, by the way.
I do too.
But I have very liberal views in certain aspects. But I'm very conservative.
All depending. I believe in humans fucking being able to do whatever they want to do.
We have free will for a reason.
Yes.
We have been given, regardless of your belief, if you believe in God, if you believe in genetic manipulation, whatever it is, if you are agnostic, doesn't matter. We are able. I believe right and wrong are social constructs. Are social constructs. I believe that, like, regardless of what you're told, you only know what you know. If you are put in a box and you are told one thing your entire life, and then somebody presents you with an alternative view, you will combat that because you only know what you know. You will not agree with the other view, and you might. But like for me, it's thinking outside the box and making sure, like, that right and wrong, in my opinion, are not what you should be using when it comes to, like, distinguishing opinions. It's different. Yep. We all have different upbringings. We all have different backgrounds. Our experiences are going to shape the way that we view things. You know, we all come from different, completely different backgrounds. I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. I believe it's to each their own, and the only standard you should live to is if you're not physically or mentally hurting somebody or yourself, at that matter. I mean, that's your own fucking choice. That's a whole different subject. You know what I mean?
If it's an intentional, yes. Don't berate somebody for having a different point of view or for seeing things differently.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Have an accepting view. Say, hey, you're totally different. I don't have to agree with you, but hey, you're still a nice person.
Don't hurt anybody else. Don't hurt yourself.
Yes.
Have a good day. Enjoy if you want to go dress up in fucking high heels and you're a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I'm very open to whatever people want
America.
to do. It's America.
Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Okay. Just be nice to me and have respect for me, and I'll respect you.
Don't
and
run me over in the fucking
around
car
you
when I'm walking downtown, please.
Right. Yeah.
That's all I ask. Have a little common courtesy. Let's bring that shit back. How about that? That's all I ask for.
And then give me a fucking hug and just know that we're all fucking brothers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, we're all mankind. Doesn't matter at the end of the day, it's survival, because if we were ever invaded by an alien race, it doesn't matter if the dude next to me is wearing a dress and he wants to piss in the chick's bathroom, right? I don't fucking care. That dude is going to be my boy.
Don't fuck with anybody when you're in there.
I'm going to back that dude up. If I got to survive, him and we're going to fucking survive.
Yes.
If we're, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't fucking matter.
Back to the
we are
whole
all
thing. That's all I ask. Yeah.
Exactly. Love one another, man.
Yes,
I was raised in the LDS religion, and there's a song called "Love One Another," and it's true. Just love everybody, regardless of who they are. But if they fuck with you, then fuck them, right?
Fuck them up. Fight or flight.
Fight or flight.
Always fight.
That's primal, though, so you can't fault anybody for that.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, indeed. For real. Man, should we, we've only been rolling for another 20 minutes after that first session. Dude, we got tons of time. Shout out to James for getting us
indeed
little little happy tonight.
Thanks, James.
Sideways. We're talking politics. First time ever. Channel 99.
Oh, no.
No, I fucking love it.
Oh,
It's good,
I didn't
though.
want to be that guy.
Well, no, man.
Okay.
I mean, anybody who's listened to my show, they'll know that I've had drag queens in here. I've had my face painted by drag queens. I've had, like, the most conservative people in here. It doesn't even matter to me. I just love everybody. So my fucking people know that I bring individuals on who are real, who are firm in their foundation. They're not afraid to, like, debate or discuss anything or have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important to have an opinion. And if it's an educated opinion, and if you can debate it, then that's important. It doesn't matter what kind of, again, we're all different, and we all view things differently because we were all raised and have different experiences throughout our lives. Like, that's why I have this studio, is because I think it's important that, like, everybody who listens has a different viewpoint from all different aspects of life. Like, musicians, and again, like, drag queens, and therapists, and police officers, like, all kinds of people. I think that's important. I think it's important that the community hears about who's around them, who serves them, and who provides a service. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's super cool.
To have the community coming together and doing that, that's good on you.
Well, it's nice. Well, I mean, it's not on me at all. It's good on the community for, like, being like,
yeah, but
for
you provide this.
I do, but I mean, they could always go to, like, the public library. I think they have a studio, but I don't think they have anybody who's there to, like, host it.
I was gonna say, they're just there to wash their hands and their face. No,
but I've been in this studio and people open up, and I do some really fun shows. And obviously, my favorite is my show, because I have people like you on who get to, open up and play their music and kind of refine themselves, on the fly. And to me, that's important. A lot of people, self-reflection, dude.
Indeed.
Yeah, you've gone through these songs a few times, and I think you've gotten better every single time you've been playing this. All right. So, but shoot, man, do we want to wrap up real quick and then do this little podcast? Yeah, it's 10 o'clock, so
yeah, let's
take
go
me
ahead.
A couple hours to get this done, but
I can't thank you enough.
Dude, sorry everybody if you were offended. Well, that's fine. Don't listen to any of my other episodes on Channel 99.
Channel 99.
My other shows are not like that. So, Pro Edge doesn't get political. Channel 99. Dustin. Yeah. Oh, we about to freestyle. Oh, we got Dustin Isaac.
Oh, Channel 99.
Ooh. Dude, yeah, that's dope.